If you're new to business, if you're a aspiring entrepreneur, you've even been in the space for a while, but are looking to refine your vision and really think deeper about it, then you're in the right place. I'm Pratna, and you're listening to Rebel with a Purpose. I'm so glad you're here because this episode is really about getting clear on your vision as an entrepreneur and very, very clear on your authentic purpose and what you were really put on this earth to do. So, let's get right into it, right? I want to speak a little bit about my journey as a coach into the space to help you understand what was my main struggles when I started off as an entrepreneur. When I started off, I changed my niche multiple times. So I started around a year ago and I was working with fresh graduates, helping them figure out what their purpose was in life, right? And even though that was enjoyable for a bit, I realized that wasn't my soulmate audience. Like they weren't the audiences I wanted to talk to. They weren't the target markets that I aspired to work with in my business. And the way I realized this was because I felt like we were spiritually and mentally on very different levels. And even though I was a fresh graduate, I am an extremely old soul, and spirituality makes up a big part of my personality. So I realize that I also want to work with other like minded spiritual people. And you'll realize this as a coach, healer, therapist that you want to work with people who are similar to you, who are similar to your past version, because these are the people that you can help the best. When you are literally working from a place of integrity, when you are helping someone with your past version, you can never feel like an imposter, right? You can never feel like you're unqualified to be doing this work because you have been there, done that. You've literally gone through that same experience. So, this is literally what I experienced when I started off that I was like, okay, I'm a fresh graduate. I should work with other fresh graduates because I'm so young. Older people won't work with me. And that was a huge limiting belief because right now I work with people triple my age and I wish I could go back to my younger self 1 year ago and be like, Pratna, you're just limiting yourself, girl. You can work with whoever in the world you want to work with. And so that started with really believing in myself that, even though I'm young and I look much younger than my actual age, I can actually help a lot more people regardless of their age. Like, why does age need to be the way I define who I'm targeting? It really doesn't. It can help make it specific. If that helps you, then great, but it doesn't have to be a criteria that you get very specific on. I didn't have an age after that. Like, when I realized that I don't have to work with a certain age group, I decided to work with anyone struggling with a certain kind of problem, looking to go to this aspirational reality, right? So that was my first niche, and that wasn't profitable too, and it wasn't really aligned. So I shifted on to the next niche, which was also not aligned, which was about Instagram growth coaching, which was helping people to grow their Instagram accounts. And I realized that I kind of shifted to this because my very toxic masculine coach made me shift into it by telling me that this is where the money lies, this is where the demand is. And I was like, wait, she's right. Like, this is tangible. The number of followers, it's more measurable, and people will pay for tangibles rather than intangibles. And that was a second limiting belief that I had to break, which was that it's not true at all that people will pay more money for tangibles than intangibles. It's easier to market and easier to sell probably, but I know mindset coaches who only sell intangibles that earn a fuck ton of money. Like they earn a lot of money. So I don't really agree with that limiting belief anymore because I've had evidence of the contrary. Now looking back, again, I wish I could go back to my younger self and tell her that she was thinking out of her mind, bro. That's not true. And so I decided, I did that for 2 weeks and I was like, this is so misaligned. Like, I don't even care about Instagram followers. I have 2,000 followers. It's not like I have too many. I didn't feel like an expert in the field. I didn't care about it enough. So the expertise, the passion was lacking. And then I realized that this isn't it, right? Now that we're talking about expertise and passion, I'm going to take a little tangent here and tell you that when you figure out what your niche or what your purpose as an entrepreneur is, I would love for you to focus on these three areas to give you clarity and specificity. One is your passion, something that you're really passionate about, something that you love doing, something that gives you goosebumps just to think about. Number two would be your expertise or your area of mastery, zone of genius, something that you have experienced in your life. So you're not an imposter and you know how to get there. You know your way and you're your biggest testimony, right? So that's the expertise area. And the third one is your target audience. Who are your soulmate clients? Or as I like to call it, green flag clients, the clients you want to work with. Who are they? What are they all about? What are their qualities? What makes them like-minded? What makes them fun to work with? And what makes them coachable, which is so important because you don't want to work with people who are difficult to coach. You want to work with energetically committed people, people who are ready to pay you in full, people who are ready to put all their resources in you because they trust you and because they trust this process and they're willing to surrender to this process. You don't want to work with people who are difficult to coach, right? So really call in the people and you would really manifest it like you manifest a relationship. You can manifest your soulmate clients. So I would say get specific with who you want to work with and write it down on a paper, like the list on a paper of energetically who these people are and strategically what are they going through in their life and what's their desires and their dreams, right? So I want you to get clear on these things to understand really what is your niche. And I have a whole document on this. So if you're here, if you're listening to this, then please just DM me on Instagram at Purpose with Pratna with the word niche, and I can just send you the document for free. Okay. And now I want to say that, like, when I realized that this second niche of mine, which is Instagram growth coaching, wasn't working out, I went and invested $2,000 in an alignment coach. And I worked with her for 2 months and she helped me really break down all these limiting beliefs. I'm too young. I can only work with people my age. I'm not experienced in this field. I can't ask for too much. Um, all these limiting beliefs I had, even with, hard work is equal to success. So I was hustling my way in this business. Like I literally was on Facebook groups every single day, engaging with multiple groups, adding value so that I would get more clients. And I put so many hours. I did this for like 2.5 to 3 months with zero results. Like I literally spent 3 hours every single day for 2.5 to 3 months with zero results. Did not get any clients out of that. There were crickets. And I honestly felt like, what the fuck? What the hell am I doing over here? Sorry, please mind my language. I am a very out there person, so my language is also very out there. And so I just decided that I need to find my aligned niche and I need to stop working this hard because this is not sustainable for my legacy. I'm not building a business, I'm building a legacy. It's long term, it's leaving long term results and impacts, which is why it's a legacy. So I need to make it in such a way that it's fun, fulfilling, and sustainable for myself. And that's when I realized that my aligned priority was helping others find their purpose as an entrepreneur. And they could be any age, right? Regardless of age, it was to help other similar like-minded spiritual entrepreneurs, soulpreneurs to basically find their purpose in this field. And that's when I ended up working with other like-minded life coaches, other like-minded business coaches to help them figure out what exactly their zone of genius was, to help them figure out what exactly their niche is. So everything I'm talking to you about right now on this episode is literally a very big element of the work I do with my clients. It's a huge element. It's literally my zone of genius is to help you figure out your zone of genius, right? So my purpose is to help you figure out your purpose as an entrepreneur. So I hope that clears it if you've had any doubts about what I do as a coach. But yeah, this is what I do. And I really love this. I really love helping people find their bigger vision, their bigger mission, their legacy plan, right? Their dream land that they want to create for their clients, that reality that they want to take their clients to, that destination. And so I want to help you with these three tools right now. And if you're listening to this, and if you're, I listen to podcasts when I'm traveling. Okay, like in the flight, I listen to podcasts, I download them, listen to them, and I take a pen out, paper out, or my notes app on the phone, and I take notes. So if you're listening to this, I would urge you to take notes right now at this point of time because I am going to be spitting some gold facts here. The three things I want you to focus on when you're figuring out what your purpose is, what your alignment is as an entrepreneur. Three things. Number one, destination. What is that reality that you want to take your clients to? That's super important, right? Where do you want to take them to? What is that dreamland like? How does it look, smell, taste? How is life in this? What is the possibility that you can take your clients to? How does life look? It's all that dreamy, ideal visions of your clients. It's that vision that you take them to, and this should give you goosebumps. It should give you chills, run through your spine because it is so exciting to even think about this. So, this is number one, destination. Number two is vehicle, your unique vehicle, your unique methodology. How do you take your clients from point A to point B? Point A is where you used to be, and point B is where you are today. How do you take them there? What is the process? What is that methodology? And I use this. My process is called Uniquely Yours. That's the name of my methodology. And what Uniquely Yours really is that it consists of finding your unique niche, methodology, and approach to creating clients and leaving your impact. So I use this, I use it with the help of somatic work, I use it with the help of visualization meditations, with the help of powerful questionings. And this is something that I've created to help my clients really figure out their niche, their offer, their package, their service, their purpose as the CEOs that they were born to be, and audaciously show up online so that they can achieve their goals of creating clients and leaving impact, right? So this is the method I use called Uniquely Yours. So for you, number one was destination, number two was vehicle. What is your method? You can also give the method a name, right? And the name Uniquely Yours came from a masterclass that I did last year, which was a super hit. Like a lot of people came, I got a lot of conversions from it. It was a blast. I had so much fun conducting this masterclass. It was amazing. It was a 2 day event. And ever since I've been obsessed with 2 day events, I've been doing 2 day events ever since. So this name came from that masterclass called Uniquely Yours, right? So I want you to think of your vehicle, your methodology of how you take your clients from point A to point B. So a little bit more about Uniquely Yours to help you figure out your methodology. And please do not copy. Just take what inspires you from this episode and journal on what feels authentic and aligned and channel what's coming through you. Because honestly, like the work we do is divine work. We're literally doing God's work, right? So to be different and really stand out in this industry, you really have to go back into your body, because there are so many coaches out there, there's so many people telling you things that you kind of lose your voice. And that was one of my biggest fears as a coach, is that I didn't want to lose my uniqueness, which is why that also became the name of my methodology, which is Uniquely Yours, is to find your path, your approach. So I really want you to like take a break after this episode and really look inwards and see what's getting channeled after this episode. After you get all this information and you take it in, what's actively getting channeled and what's really your truth within your body. If a name comes up, great, like use that name, right? Because your intuition knows better. So, yeah, my name of Limitless Legacy Leader, which is right now my group coaching mastermind, that was a fully channeled name. What that means is that I didn't really think about Limitless Legacy Leader. I just sat on the roof of my house and I looked up to the universe and said, help me out. I'm creating my flagship signature offer and I would love your help. So whatever comes true, I just want to put it on a piece of paper. I took my notepad there, took a pen on the roof, sat, put my ass down, looked up, spoke to God, prayed, and got the channeling and wrote it down. And then I came up with this Limitless Legacy Leader, and I stuck to it ever since, and I still love it. And a lot of people have actually told me that they don't like it because it's a tongue twister, but I still love it. Like, I absolutely love it. A Limitless Legacy Leader and even Rebel with a Purpose, which is this podcast, right? The names have all been channeled, they have all been intuitive. So I don't care whether anyone likes it or not, because they've all come through me, through God. They've come from a very divine process. So I'm just very attached to the name. I love Limitless Legacy Leader. That's my aspirational version. That's how I look at my vision in the future. And that's how all my clients look at their visions too, which is why a lot of them have come to me and told me that they felt really called to the name Limitless Legacy Leader, right? Okay, so, as I was saying, the destination, number one, vehicle number two, and the third one is the energy of the container. So, your energy is something no one can replicate. So, literally, you being you having that bravery to authentically put yourself out there on social media with your face, which I've realized is such a huge obstacle in so many of my clients, is that the fear of being seen, the fear of judgment. Oh my God, what are the people going to think if they see that I'm doing this? They're going to like gossip, they're going to make jokes, they're going to talk, they're going to mock. And so that stops people from taking the steps to putting themselves audaciously out there on social media and seeing what that could do for you, the possibility that that can bring for you. Like just putting yourself on social media and probably being cringe to these people could be absolutely incredible genius to your ideal clients. So, what's really stopping you is what is going to help you push through the barriers and get out there. Because literally yesterday, I spoke about how this limiting belief of being young and having less experience, as a life coach, where they say you should have a lot of life experience. A client of mine, Rebecca, actually commented on a reel saying that the reason I invested in you is because you, being young, are so open minded. And so your youth, your age was the reason I invested in you. So the things you judge yourself for, the things you shame yourself for, actually the reasons people will be investing in you. So everything you're shaming yourself for, put it out there. Go out there and tell people that I'm only 24. And yeah, I just graduated college last year and look at what I'm doing. Like be outright and outrageous about your whole truth. Because you are. So what? what does that mean about you? What are you making it mean about you? What are you making all these things mean about you as an entrepreneur, as a CEO? What does it mean? Right? So if you're making it mean all these negative things, they're limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs are basically things that come in your way that don't support your higher self. So you want to let go of these limiting beliefs because they're not supporting your higher self, they're not supporting your future self. And when you self-sabotage, what you basically do is you encourage these limiting beliefs and you're like, come, challenge me. And then you have all these limiting beliefs that drive you insane, which is why you don't work and you procrastinate, and yeah, you just don't get any work done. You don't really move towards your goals, you don't move towards your higher self, and you feel like shit. So it's really important to empower yourself through the way you talk to yourself. And so going back to what I was saying about energy, is you being you is very, very important to attracting the right people, whether, and not judging yourself for your shadows, not judging yourself for the different parts of you that make you different. If it makes you different, it's better you put it out there. If it makes you different, you'd rather just talk about it and flaunt it. So what? I flaunt my age. Like, I literally love talking about the fact that I'm young and I figured out my purpose. Because if I can at this age, then you definitely can. So it's kind of like using whatever you judge yourself for to your leverage, to your advantage, and then seeing how that goes. So I really want you to like look at yourself as the whole personality that you are. You are not too much of anything. You are exactly the perfect right amount with all the right ingredients. And so I want you to like give yourself grace and compassion and look at yourself as the whole big picture, and the energy of your container is directly related to how you feel and how you showcase that with your clients. So your vibration is what I would rather say rather than energy of the container. Your vibration is so important. Your personality, that is so important. So you owning it will raise your vibration automatically, because authenticity is a huge vibration upgrade. It's a huge vibration upgrade, authenticity. So you just owning your personality and owning who you are will already upgrade your vibration, and that'll be taken care of. So it's more of like working on the fears that are holding you back from being your true authentic self, and so purifying your energy in your container, right? Now, with regards to your vision, we are going to get into some questions at this part of the episode. And if you have a notepad or if you have your phone with you, of course you do, because you're listening to this on your phone, I'm guessing. I want you to take out the notes app, and I'm going to give you a few questions that I really want you to think about. Now, this is a tool used by Mind Valley a lot. Mind Valley is this number one personal education platform in the world. If you haven't heard about Mind Valley, go Google about it after this episode. Mind Valley. It's amazing, by Vishen Lakiani. Okay, so the 3 MIQ. It's called 3 MIQ, which is the three most important questions that you need to ask yourself before you start any venture or business. And this works with any entrepreneur, okay? Number one is experiences. So what do you want to experience in your life? What kind of relationships do you want to have? What kind of house are you living in? Where do you want to travel? Who are you traveling with? Right? What kind of work are you doing? Who are you working with? How does it make you feel? How do you wake up feeling? How do you sleep feeling? How does your day to day look like, an ideal day to day look like for you? So I know I went through these really, really quick. So you can go back and pause and listen again and write down. But really understanding what kind of experience and what kind of life you want to create is very, very important, right? So that's the experience side of things. Understanding your experiences, understanding where you want to travel, who with, who's your partner, what kind of person is this guy or girl, who are you spending the most time with? What are you doing in your free time? How does your day to day look like? That's experiences. And then we go to growth, right? Growth is in what areas in your life do you want to grow in? What skills do you want to acquire? What languages do you want to learn? What is something that is important for you? So if you're someone who has a love for learning, what is that important thing that you want to learn more about, that you want to grow in, whether that's spirituality, consciousness, personal growth, AI, right? So whatever it is that comes up is important. Sustainability. And then number three, which is we finished experiences growth, and now we're going into contribution. How do you want to give back to society? How do you want to contribute to the world at large? How do you want to build something bigger than yourself to contribute and to give back, right? What are those topics that you are so passionate about or that makes you so angry? Because if something makes you super angry, that also shows that you are very passionate about it and it's calling out to your soul in some way. So how can you really give back? And what are the things that make you super passionate, right? So those are those come under contribution, right? How do you want to contribute back to the wider society? Or it could even be to your own family, to your own friends, to your partner, anything. Okay, so these are the three big questions. And if you'd like to pause the podcast right now and journal on them, feel free to do them. If not, and if you want to do it later, you can do that too. Now, I want you to really close your eyes if you feel so called to do so, and really think about certain questions I'm going to ask you. You can close your eyes and you can focus on your breath, slowing down your breath, coming back into the present moment. And I want you to really think deep about your dreamland, about your legacy, about what you want to create for your clients. Where is this place? How does it look like? What is this reality that you take your soulmate clients and audience to? Make it as tangible as possible. If names come up, let them come up, which is why I said close your eyes so you can channel this. You can channel this. Go into your body and really listen as I ask these questions. What is the dreamland that you want to take your soulmate clients to? How does this new reality look like for them? What is possible here that is not possible in their current reality? What's different here? What is accepted here that is not generally accepted in society? What does this place look like, feel like, sound like? This is your vision for yourself. This is your vision for your soulmate clients. This is where you want to take the world. This is your movement. I want you to really ask yourself, what do you stand for? What is important for you? Let the words just flow, and you can write them down as they flow. What is a concept that you're here to share that people want to get behind? What are you here to share? What were you born to share? Channel this message. What are you here to give to the world? What are you here to give to the world? How are you here to serve the world? How can you be a service and an instrument of help and healing to the world? And get specific, get tangible. Let the words flow as you write them down. What makes what you're doing different from what others are doing? What is different about you? What do you feel called to talk about most? What do you feel called to talk about most? Give it a name and write it down. What do you call your space of similar beings? Let's look at your community. What would you call your community? Who are these people? What are your values and qualities that they share with you? What do they think is important as so you? So, what are your values? What are your qualities that are similar to your community, to the other individuals in your space? I call my community Limitless Legacy Leader. My coach calls it the New Earth Community. There are some who call it the Unstoppable Creators, the Divine Union Vortex. Just giving you a few examples of names that you can call your community and be original and think of what is coming out. What are you channeling? Remember, you do not need ChatGPT for this. You have the source of intuition within you. Trust your body, trust your intuition to come up with names. Trust your intuition to give you the channeled messages. You are connected to the source, you are connected to the divine. You do not need any external instrument to help you with this. You just need to ask yourself the right questions, the powerful questions. I want you to remember that you are already this movement's aspirational identity. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be the embodiment of who your clients want to become. You need to embody it holistically and show up as this embodiment online. And it's okay if you have lapses on some days. It's okay if you don't feel too confident on some days. It's not like confident coaches feel confident every single day, but it's about going back up, being resilient, bouncing back up, and working on those insecurities, on those low confident days. So, this is really an invitation to continue to show up as audaciously, as authentically as you are every single day. You already live in the dreamland. You're simply inviting people to come with you to live there too. You are already believing in this possibility. You are already living part of this possibility. And that's the part that you help your clients get to with you because you've already gotten there before. So you are the embodiment. And be as specific as possible with the details, with the descriptions, with the stories. The more specific, the better, because you are not for everyone. You are talking to a very specific clientele, a very specific soulmate client. So when you sell, it really becomes an invitation to help your soulmate clients ascend into this new dreamland, into this new reality with you. I want you to look at selling as really ascending into this new reality, into this new dreamland with you, right? And today I had a conversation with one of my clients, and she was really talking about her offer. And she was like, I want to help everyone who deals with stress, anxiety, self sabotage. And I looked at her and I'm like, that's everyone. Everyone deals with a little bit of stress and anxiety and self sabotage. Everyone does, which is why your offer is vague. Your offer is not specific. And the more specific, the better, right? The more specific, the messaging gets more dialed down. Your people really feel connected when they see your posts online and they really feel called to work with you. They feel like, how does she know? How is she in my head? How is he in my head? How does he know what I'm going through? That's because you're so dialed in. You're so specific. You're talking to your past version essentially when you go on out there on social media to market. You're talking to your past version. So that's what I told her. And I said that you want to help everyone, but no one ever built $1 million business helping everyone. It is important to get specific and focus on who exactly you want to help. And that person is your past version, hint, right? Because the more specific, the easier you're making your business, the deeper you're impacting and you're transforming lives. And even though we all want to be saviors and help everyone, it's not our purpose. There are people, they are taken care of. Like I literally told her, they are taken care of. You don't have to worry about them. They are taken care of. There are people who will help heal them. There are people who will help coach them, but it's not you. The more specific you get, the deeper the transformation, the more you can help people. So I just told her to get more specific with who exactly she's talking to. She doesn't need to help everyone who deals with self sabotage, stress, and anxiety because that's literally everyone. She just needs to help that woman, that married working woman who is dealing with self sabotage, who is dealing with people pleasing tendencies, to find clarity on their desires, on their visions, and build an identity for themselves, which is fully self expressed. So that is her beautiful legacy. That's her beautiful vision. That's a beautiful niche. Right? You don't need to help everyone, even though you have that desire to. You just need to help that person that was your past version, that person that you feel very called to help. And you'll do an amazing job. You can become an expert at something that's specific. If you work with everyone, you deal with different issues every day, you have different cases and scenarios coming up to you. You will never ever master that one skill, master that one area of service. And even in that one area of service, there are so many nuances. So it's always better to be specific. It's always better to talk to your soulmate clients and to help them And as I said, they're always going to be your past version. So it won't be very difficult to really know what words to use to say to them. It won't be difficult to know how to reach them because they were literally you a year ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So it's just going back to that version of you and then channeling those messages and channeling that communication. Okay. I've had clients overthink their communication. I've had clients overthink their messaging, and I'm like, it's just you talking to your past version. It's not too difficult as long as you can go back and see how your past version was thinking and see what your past version wanted from life and talk to that aspirational identity to attract premium clients, right? And this is more of the work I do, so I won't be saying a lot over here. We're coming to an end to this episode, and if you loved this episode and if you gained a lot out of it, DM me 3L on Instagram for a free legacy call where we can plan out the next steps of your business to take you to the next level, to help you get more soulmate clients, to help you really dial in your messaging and build the desired life and business that you want. I'm really here for that fulfilling, fun, sustainable life and business, right? You're building a business around your life, not the other way around. Always remember that. I've had a great time in this episode. I really hope you got golden nuggets out of it. You're listening to Rebel with a Purpose, and I am Pratna signing off. Thank you for being here.